Hi, everybody. Welcome to the fourth episode of the Swinburne Pop Culture Podcast. My name is Ben, and today I'm joined by Oscar.
Hello.
Becky.
Hello.
And for the first time ever, we've got a special guest. Can everybody welcome Nathan to the podcast?
Hello there. Glad to be here.
We're glad to have you.
Hell
We're going to
yeah.
maybe try in the future to get more guests on, like you. But it's an exciting time. So today, we've got a special one for you guys. We're going to be talking about anime.
Weebs rejoice.
It's
I
the
feel
weeb hour.
We've been hinting at this one or talking about doing this one for a hot minute, so it felt right to get it out of the way.
What? Get out of the way? Because we kept saying we kept saying like, oh, we'll save it for the anime podcast. Well, now we're doing the goddamn anime podcast. So
You're right. It's a special event. It's a special occasion.
big win.
We're all glad to be here. So today we're going to go through our normal general kind of chat. We're going to have a little anime quiz in the middle, and right at the end we're going to do our recommendations as always. So without further ado, let's get into it. So guys, I'm going to go around and just get your general kind of where you started with anime. So I think I'll start us off. My anime introduction was technically at a young age. I had like VHSs of Astro Boy and stuff that I'd watch religiously.
Oh, yeah.
But at that
Wow.
point, I didn't know that it was anime. I thought it was just a neat cartoon. So I kind of grew up as an anime fan without really knowing it.
Proto-weeb.
Yeah, I was a weeb before it was cool.
Baby, I was born this way.
I was born in the wrong generation. Gosh.
But when I found out what anime actually was, it was Naruto, which, you know, set it off and kind of converted me to that way of life. And I haven't been the same ever since.
All been downhill.
Oscar, would you like to give us your kind of background in anime?
So I'm not entirely sure if it counts, but the first anime I can definitely remember watching is the Pokemon anime.
Hell yeah.
You know, because obviously that was more than a little inescapable, like in my youth. I can't remember when I actually learned though what anime was and what anime meant, though. I guess like the first like anime I can remember watching, like understanding what anime was probably My Hero Academia, because
Really?
that was
So that's
also
pretty
kind
recent.
of hard, right? But like it was just like everywhere. Like I was watching like a few like, you know, film channels on YouTube at the time, and it's like it was just everywhere. Like you couldn't get away from it. It was that popular.
Yeah, you couldn't avoid it.
And yeah, but since then, you know, like I've definitely, you know, enjoyed finding new animes to watch. My only, you know, gripe tends to be is like, why aren't any of them ever already completed when I find them? Like, so, the only anime I've been able to watch like from like I'm able to watch completely from start to finish is Assassination Classroom, because that was already finished when I found it. So.
But even that one finished relatively recently.
Yeah.
Like, I think it might just be because everyone's like, these are the ones that people are talking about currently, like in current events, and so these are the ones that a lot of people would probably see, and so it makes sense that that's where people start off their journeys.
Yeah.
Nathan, how about you?
Dang, I'm trying to remember now. I think it was similar to you, Ben. Like, my parents were cheapskates, so often went to op shops, and I do remember it was Simba the White Lion, Astro
Yes,
Boy.
me too.
It was Kimber the White Lion.
Oh, Kimba Simba.
They were both Osamu Tezuka.
Yeah, and what was it? Yu-Gi-Oh! Back when I was like 3 years old.
Yes. Oh my god, the original Yu-Gi-Oh anime was insanely good. Actually, wait, no. I say the original Yu-Gi-Oh anime, but there was a series before the one we all know and love that was
Season
the
0.
more... Oh my god, what that was wild. That was the Wild West of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, fucking hell. It was literally it was death games. Hey, want to play Russian roulette? If I
Who was
win,
there?
you get to go to Shadow Realm, which is just fucking die. Yeah.
Becky, how about you? Where'd you get your start?
So, I probably started. The first anime was probably Lucky Star,
Oh, yeah.
which shows some of my preferences for anime. Probably when I was like 12. Then, I'm not sure the progression, but some years later, when I was like, I think 15 or so, I watched like Naruto, like all the original Naruto and some of Shippuden.
Hell yeah.
Then just started watching a lot of anime after that. Not a lot, but you know.
Very nice.
Ooh.
I feel like there's a bit of a range. Like some people are hardcore, but you can be a casual anime fan. Like it's
Yeah.
not against the law.
Yeah, casuals.
Yeah.
Yay.
I mean, I was a casual for most of my life until recently, where I thought I got nothing else to do. I might as well just watch this freaking
Yeah.
anime, and then you
I
get hooked,
know.
and then
I
you
wish I watched
spiral.
more. I wish I watched more, but like I'm so picky with what I watch. It's like, and I have such a short attention span that it's like, I'd love to watch it all, but I can't. And as it stands, like all the animes I've watched are either like isekai or like comedy or like anime that's probably for children. Like, but I'm not entirely sure. Like Heaven's Design Team. Like, I'm not sure if it's made for children or not, but I like it either way.
Mm. Well, a lot of anime is kind of universal, I feel like.
Yeah.
Some of it
Yeah.
will be appropriate for children, but enjoyable for adults to watch. Like it
Yeah.
won't necessarily have explicit content, but it will deal with themes like death and
Sure.
like
Yeah.
love triangles and that kind of stuff.
And the
I
power
mean,
of
that's
friendship.
Always the power of friendship.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right. I mean, that's kind of what's so great about anime is because like it's kind of I almost kind of hate in a sense the term anime because it's not
Term.
because it's like it's not when someone says anime like they use it like a genre, but it's not a genre. It's an art style. Like
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
you know,
I feel like it's kind of a form, if anything.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
its own thing.
like the Pokemon anime is an anime and it's ostensibly made for children, but
Mhm.
I would never let a child watch something like Beastars, for instance.
Or Death Note. Yeah. My God.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's very different from like Western cartoons in that sense. Like when you think
Yeah,
Western cartoons, you think this is a child. Like this is
This is for
we've
children.
come to think that
but
this is for
yeah,
children. But
Yeah.
anime is like it encompasses that range from it's like live action where it has all of the genres within this
yeah.
form.
But like even then, like I like that anime can be not for children, but also not. It can still be like intelligent because like when
Yeah.
I feel like when Western animation thinks adult animation, they think things like Family Guy, The Simpsons, The
Yeah.
Boondocks,
Just crude
you know,
humor.
like
Futurama.
crude, crass, South Park, sarcastic,
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of relies a lot on shock humor, but anime can be adult because it tells a mature story that wouldn't interest a child. Like,
I think anime why that is so good with anime is because it takes itself seriously. Like they not like they don't think it's lowbrow to have an animated show, whereas in America you might think like if the show's animated, it's like below live action, whereas anime is
yeah,
very much on the same level as
Yeah.
like live
Yeah.
action in Japan.
Yeah.
once again, Japan is just better in everything. So,
Yeah. I mean, with the majority of anime, if you just pause on a single frame, that's a whole entire drawing. Meaning that,
Well, that's the entire other aspect.
I mean, a lot of people will spend time outlining it, shading it, coloring it in. Like, yeah, it's real dedication to the art.
oh yeah, I mean, I love that's. I mean, like I'm an animation student, so like I love anime. Like a lot, I'm sure like the way anime is animated probably turns off a lot of people because like it's much stiffer and like there's a lot more less motion going on. But I love that because it feels like an intuitive way to bring because like often animes are adapted from manga, like, oh, this
Yeah.
feels like an animated comic book because it still kind of feels like panels almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely more of like an artistic element to anime than you might find in Western cartoons. It's
Yeah,
really, it's like something
definitely.
that people kind of obsess over even.
I've rarely
Like,
seen a beautiful cartoon, but I've seen many beautiful anime.
oh,
Yeah.
so many.
Yeah. Man.
You just need to look at Miyazaki, like any Studio Ghibli
Oh,
film, and it's insanely beautiful to look at.
yeah, but again, like
Yeah.
as an animation student, like I also find stuff like Ghibli in particular like very intimidating because it's like I'll never make anything like that looks like this. Like I just, it's not gonna happen. I can't make anything that looks like that. Like
I can see that because, but that on that note, like it's kind of the that's kind of the peak. I would say like people aspire to be Miyazaki. You know, like that's the top, like the top of the hill,
Yeah.
yeah,
as far as animation goes. That, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah. One of the greatest anime that I've seen, like in terms of animation, is Your Name or Kimi no Nawa, in
oh,
which there's a lot of shots of like the city through like day and night cycles, and for the majority, it looks just like just a long video of someone streaming the sun going up and down over Tokyo, and the attention to detail with a lot of them, like most of the frames, I would just pause and think, wait, holy shit! Oh my god, that's hand drawn.
I mean,
Fucking
yeah. I mean, I would never say, oh, if you've watched anime, you know everything there is to know about Japan. But like, it
Yeah.
is a great example of like Japanese cultural and work values. Like nothing, like very rarely at least, is it ever like half done. Like you can always tell, like, and often to
Half-baked.
their and often to their detriment, you can see
Yeah.
that like the artists and animators have poured so much work into that. But I've yet to come across many animes that I would say, oh, this looks at least objectively bad. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
look at Beastars for instance. Like, that's not even animated in an even remotely traditional way.
Yeah, it's all CG.
Yeah, that's something that almost put me off about Beastars when I first started watching it. I didn't think I could get into the style because it's all 3D animated, and it was the first
Really?
3D animated anime I'd ever seen. So I was very apprehensive going into it, but then once it got going, I really got into the style.
Wow. Seems like you're more of a weeb than me.
The studio had to go through a lot of research and development to figure out like how to animate like the animal faces and like how that would all look and how the lighting would work because it still retains like a very cell shaded look. And there's like actually a mix of lighting that will move as the character moves and other like shadows that won't. Like often the shadows on a character's face will stay completely still, like they won't move, but like the shadows on like the body will. Like
Yeah.
it's an incredibly sophisticated animation style for sure.
Yeah. What I meant by you're
Very
more of a
unique.
weeb was how I think just for me, I go for story rather than animation because the story is I'd say, well, about half of the main selling point of an anime. Of course, animation helps, but like if it has a good story to tell, that's what, well, for me
So
personally, that's what really matters.
So,
in the
what's
long
your
run.
opinion on Beastars' story then? Because I think that's something that could divide a lot of people.
Let me think.
Is this my time to
Season,
admit that I've never watched Beastars?
it's fine. It's
It is a more
essentially
recent one.
Zootopia, predators and prey, and like, but it
Except
goes into a
adult
lot more
themes.
depth about how it
It's a
would affect
weird
society.
show. I don't think many people would argue that it's a very strange experience to watch. And also, I just wanted to bring up one more thing about Beastars animation. And it's such an I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Beastars manga, but it's drawn in like a really sketchy pen style, like almost like it was like sketched out with a ballpoint pen. So it's so interesting
Yeah.
to see that contrast between like the manga and the anime style as well.
Yeah, it's
Wouldn't
completely
that
different.
be a light novel then? Because light novels are often below manga as they're essentially just sketches, but they get the whole story out, and then it's redefined.
It still has like several volumes,
Hmm.
like, and I've only ever seen it referred to as the Beastars manga. It just has a very, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like the Beastars manga has a very unique visual style, and
Yeah.
so does its anime.
Okay.
I guess like
Oh yeah, I see.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess like what are some of your guys like top favorite animes then? Like we're kind of like dodging around like talking about specific animes, but I think like it'd be good to like what anime do you just like tell people, oh my god, you've got to watch this?
It's a very hard question because so many of them are a big commitment. Like, for instance, Naruto is something like insane over like
Jesus.
it's hundreds of episodes. You can't really recommend it to somebody.
That's why I have not watched either Naruto or One Piece, because it's like I'm not ready for that kind of commitment. So just
It's in terms of with Naruto, it'd be better to actually read the manga, because what they do with the original show is one chapter. So when you buy a manga, it's usually about say 20 chapters, but with Naruto, one episode is one chapter, and then they just stretch it out as long as they can. So yeah, that's a real big drawback with Naruto. So it would be better to read the manga.
I remember hearing that Dragon Ball had that problem as well. Like because like eventually like it got to the point where like the anime caught up with the manga, so they had to
and then they had to make up their own stuff.
Slow the anime down, which is kind of how the whole 5 minutes became 9 episodes or something. You've seen you know what I mean? Like
But in terms of anime that I would suggest to people, I would say maybe something shorter, like Death Parade is one that comes to mind, which is only 12 episodes. It's a quick one about when people die, they go to limbo essentially, and they have to play games to like reveal the truth in their heart, which will decide whether they're either reincarnated or sent to not hell, but their soul is just destroyed. I think that's it's so bizarre.
That sounds very
like
anime.
trying to describe anime is you feel like you're a crazy person.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Because
It's like I
all
swear
so
it's actually
out there.
enjoyable once you sit down to watch it. Like
Yeah, if you tell people to watch Death Note, they're like, "Wait, you mean that one where the guy says, 'I'm going to eat a potato chip'? Whoa!" Like, no, it's a whole thing about where you can control life and death, but people go, "Nah, this is the funny potato chip guy thing."
Would you say that's your recommendation, Nathan? Death Note?
It's
a
a
solid
isn't
one.
long.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 24 episodes. It's relatively, it's kind of extreme, but it's psychological, and it's heavy on its themes about morality and judgment and guilty or innocent, with how it's portrayed as a boy who, if you write the name in the book, they die. But then he thinks, oh, I can just make the world a better place. But then as it goes on, it becomes more grey. Like, hey, I'm going to be caught by the police because what I'm doing is illegal. So should I kill the police trying to find me? And when does that stop? And
Yeah.
essentially, like, his morale becomes darker, and eventually you're rooting for the anti-hero by the end. But sometimes
really
it is, sometimes that is a commitment, even just 24 episodes. So
yeah,
yeah, that'd be a good recommendation, I'd say, just to start off. It's a nice one.
yeah, that's definitely one of the ones which I started with as well. So
Mm,
I think it's a solid one.
yeah, really is.
Oscar, what do you reckon?
Well, I feel like I could recommend a few because like most of the animes I've watched or am watching are already finished and not that long, or they are still relatively new, so there's not that many episodes to catch up on. Like I think my favorite anime I've ever watched has to be Doctor Stone,
Okay.
which I think possibly because it reminds me of the Magic School Bus. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I've never
But no,
seen Dr. Stone. I would love to know. I would love to know the correlation between the Magic School Bus.
In that it's educational, it's edutainment.
Oh,
But
I
it's
see.
also not. It's also not a kids anime, so it's mature edutainment, which is not often something that's found outside of YouTube, especially not in like animation. It's
That
about
sounds
a
really
world
unique,
where,
actually.
like, one day all of humanity is turned to stone statues, and then this one hyper genius boy named Senku, who, now that I think about it, is kind of like a more crass version of Jimmy Neutron, is wakes up like thousands of years into the future, and it's all about him surviving, like, in a world where all of human civilization is gone, and trying to revive everybody, essentially. That would
Wow.
be like.
It sounds like a slightly darker version of Dora the Explorer.
But it's also a good beginner anime because it's very easy to understand, like, and it's not super over the top, and like there's nothing that makes you go, oh my god, that is so far removed from like
reality.
Yeah, or like not even. I was gonna say, like, for someone who like may have only been watching like Western animation, like they're not gonna feel totally out of their depth watching Doctor Stone, is what I would say.
Oh, I get
which
you.
is both.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, I could recommend, I've already talked about Beastars, which is, definitely an acquired taste. But I could talk about the anime where a 37-year-old virgin gets mugged one day and is killed and gets reincarnated into like a D&D style fantasy world where he is a slime. And the anime is called That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime.
Oh my god, I love that anime. It's so good.
Magical. What a world. Becky, would you like to give us a quick recommendation?
So, I'm going to go, I think it's like a different angle. I'm going to recommend something called Laid Back Camp, because it's like short, but also a really good introduction to the slice of life genre, and like kind of moe. It's about like these like girls in school starting a camping club, and basically going camping, and it's just very cute and wholesome.
All right.
Is that all?
Oh yeah.
It's very
I'm sure
cute.
more happens, but slice of life anime, for anyone that doesn't know, it's very much just people going through their day-to-day kind of situations where, except it's goofy shit happens. So it's hard to kind of like succinctly describe.
And sometimes it's like slice of life, but in like very, like more fantastical worlds. Like one slice of life anime that I quite liked is Cells at Work.
Oh
Which
yeah.
basically pretends all the cells in your body are little people.
So it's Osmosis Jones, but the anime.
Yeah, and it says like what a cell does in a day, like what a cell's daily work entails.
Yeah.
That's something that I love so much about anime, that it's just like when you try to explain it, it sounds absolutely mental.
I know.
There are these
It's a
ideas
good
that
thing
no one else would ever come up with, maybe in like
It's a good
Western
thing this is the Pop Culture
society.
Club podcast and not like some other podcast, because if we tried to broadcast this as part of any other club, we'd be like, okay, I think I'm done with that. So...
I'm trying to remember a good slice of life. Oh, the daily lives of high school boys. It's essentially just. I mean,
that sounds right on the money.
Yeah. Man, I don't know how to explain it. I haven't watched it in a while, but dang, it portrays like the high school life of not just boys but girls as well as like very accurate. Often just like being goofy and stuff like, oh, just put studies on the side. Let's go and fucking fight each other with sticks and rocks, and imagine that we're playing tag or something like that. I don't know.
That's actually something that I have found with so much anime, is that like we say that it's not really targeted to any specific audience, but at the same time, like the majority of the anime I watch, the protagonists and the characters in it are like high school kids.
Yeah.
So it's it becomes hard to relate when you pass a certain like age range.
Yeah.
Like it's after a certain point, you're like 30 and you're watching shows that are still about like 17-year-olds, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not targeted in the sense that it's accessible to a lot of people, but it might be targeted in that way that it kind of, it becomes less relatable.
Oh, it is like, youngish adult, But often, I mean, I will say that the way anime tends to depict like high school experiences is way more interesting than any Western media.
Yeah, it's a lot more romanticized than.
Well, not, but like,
actually.
it's just like they just make it. I mean, but even like if there's not like a huge fantasy element, like it's just more engaging to watch. Like the characters are more endearing, And so, I mean, yeah.
Well, it's interesting because in Western society, we think of the stereotypes, like the classic stereotypes, like the jock, the pretty, like the cheerleader, the nerd. But in anime, it's kind of, it's similar, but there's like really noticeable
There's
differences.
more nuance.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
More,
have like
more
different
depth,
tropes.
usually, than just the tropes.
Yeah.
But I think there are still those tropes, but it's just, they're kind of different and they have different kind of roles. Like you think of you think of the like character archetypes like yandere, tsundere, and that kind of thing, where there are like character archetypes rather than which is similar to like jock, cheerleader, nerd.
Well, except, I like you, but I also want to stab you, the yandere. And I like you, but shut up, you're too weird. And I push.
Exactly.
Baka.
Like,
Baka. Yeah.
there are different values, different things which they prioritize, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to remember. I'll only speak about it a little bit, but essentially what broke the mold of like most tropes in anime was Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's I'm not going to talk too much. It is my favorite anime, but it came out in the 90s and essentially it broke all stereotypes of anime. So, you like a character where he fights in a robot? Well, imagine the reality of it, where it'll be, hey, you have to risk your life and save humanity. You willing to do that? You would you be happy to die on the battlefield? Huh? Would you be happy to do that? And with the tsundere, Asuka, they add a lot more depth to it as like talk about more insecurities. So I don't want to be alone. I want to be the center of attention, and I want people to praise me, but I don't want people to think that I'm weak. So I'm going to push them away. Yeah. I don't know. It's a very important anime for all of anime culture. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I
No,
feel like there
that's
are more
totally
animes
fine.
now. I feel like there are like some more animes now that like are more willing to kind of like point out some of the tropes that are common in anime. Like even My Hero Academia does that. It sometimes like points out the tropes. And I think one of my anime that I really enjoyed, and I also want to recommend it to people because it's finished, so you can actually just go watch it all. Is Assassination Classroom, which is another like high school setting anime. And it's very endearing, and it also like often does kind of poke fun at like the whole indestructible monster, oh my god, how will we kill him kind of trope. And I'm just looking at it on Funimation, and you'll be interested to know it's available in English, Japanese, and Brazilian, Portuguese, and Spanish.
So for any of our Brazilian, Portuguese, or Spanish listeners out
Speakers.
there you go.
That's another thing that I love about anime, that it's so accessible to people like all over the world, like with dubs and subs.
Yeah.
Like and often when you see like dubbed versions of maybe things from other countries, it's very kind of slut together, not really like half-assed, but anime dubs, for instance, are really like, for some at least, there are certainly some stinkers out there, but
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say that depends a lot on what anime you're watching and who you're asking. Like, it's
varying.
like a friend of mine like often complains about how anime dubs, you'll often just hear like the same dozen voice actors for all of them.
Yeah. The
There
very
is that
insular community.
Yeah.
debate
And-
about dubs versus subs, which we won't get into right now. But
Aw.
Oh, well, can I go in just a little bit?
yeah, go
So
for it.
the main issue that people have with dubs or subs is because of the directing. So with the people dubbing it over, they won't have the creator or the director actually saying, "I want you to give this line a lot of heart or a lot of emotion," because with dubs, essentially they're just reading the translated script, so they don't really try to put all that much emotion. They're just reading out the lines to get over and done with.
I think the
But
counter argument is for listening to subs. It's because like even if you do have that emotion like straight from the director in the original Japanese version, it's hard for someone who's a native English speaker
Yeah.
to kind of
to read
comprehend, like to get that emotion because they're really just following along the subtitles and they don't know which word is which word in English. So it's hard.
Exactly.
It's a tricky kind of balancing act.
I mean, for me, it's just because like I don't want to have to keep my eyes focused on the bottom of the screen the entire time. Like I want to be able to, look at the animation, which is kind of harder to do when you're watching subbed stuff.
Yeah.
I think specifically My Hero Academia was kind of breaking ground in the fact that the sub and dub were like the original Japanese and the English dub were released simultaneously, I believe.
And they did have
Really? I didn't know
directing
that.
aid from the original creator, so that improved the voice acting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I've heard very good things about the My Hero Academia dub.
So you can go either way, but I think it's more if you're into or you're more critical of line delivery, then that's when the argument would be applied with sub or dub. But you can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
Very
Yeah.
much a
it's
personal
personal
preference.
preference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shouldn't feel bad for wanting to watch something in the language you
dub.
speak. So
Yeah.
Don't feel bad for enjoying something.
Yeah, do whatever you want. It's your life.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Well, I hope we've given everybody a reason to watch anime or give it a chance if you're
well,
if
it's
you're
either that
not
or we've solidified
in
the
that.
decision to not watch anime ever. So
Either one.
Oh God.
That's true. All of our talk of wacky shit might have completely put you off, and
hey, have
that's
you seen
totally
Beastars?
fine.
It's this anime that's like Zootopia, except all the characters are horny and it's much more violent. So
Yeah, we might have done the opposite of our objective, but you know what? That's life. So now I think we'll move on. I've set up a little quiz for you guys,
Just for, whew.
just for you and the audience. Of course, it's not. It's for everybody. So I lied when I said it's just for you.
Hey,
I was
Bruh.
lying.
Pain.
But going with our theme, it is an anime quiz. But I've tried to make it as accessible as possible. So if you know even just a little bit about anime, I think you'll still be able to join in and have a bit of fun. So yeah, this is the anime quiz. The rules are that I want you guys to buzz in with your names for each question. First one to buzz in gets to answer the question, but if you get the question wrong, that's it until maybe everyone else has given it a shot. And then we'll see if we want to go back over it and give everyone a second chance. Some of these questions might have like a bit of a margin of error, so you can get it close to right, but it might not. You might miss some details, and if that is the case, and I think that it can be answered more correctly, I will give people a chance to steal if they think that they have more knowledge on the subject. So there's quite a few questions. We might not even get through all of them. I've set it up so there are 3 sections, actually. Each section having a different kind of theme. And the first section and the first theme I've called With Great Power. And these questions are all about how characters from anime obtain their various fantastical abilities.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right.
So with these first questions, I've set it up so there are 3 parts to it. So I will be looking for the anime. I will be looking for the character that I'm talking about. And I will be looking for, in this specific section, I will be looking for how that character came across their abilities.
All right.
Sound good?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think so.
Sounds simple enough.
All right, let's get into it then. First question. In this swashbuckling anime, how does the protagonist gain the ability to stretch his body like rubber?
Oscar.
Oscar, go ahead.
Okay, so the anime is One Piece.
Yes.
The character is Luffy,
No.
Yes.
and he got his powers by eating a magic fruit of some sort.
Yep,
I think
that'll
like-
do it.
I think it's called the Gum Gum, isn't it?
It
Yeah,
is. It is
devil
called the
fruit.
gum fruit.
Yeah.
That's right.
Devil fruit and
that's-
then
No.
That was
variations.
like memory pulled up from years ago. So I was watching like a review for a One Piece game, and they gave like a quick synopsis of it. So like,
Yeah.
Like I said, this is going to be all very surface level stuff, so you should have a chance. Also, I didn't mention, I will be giving out 1 point for the character and the anime, and 2 points for the description of how they got their powers. So that puts Oscar at 4.
Okay.
Full points for Oscar. Let's move on to question 2. This hero possesses the amazing ability to defeat any opponent with a single punch. But how does he claim to have gained this power?
Nathan.
Becky.
Oh, that was Nathan first.
Oh, okay. So One Punch Man, that's the anime. Then you got Saitama, that's the character. And I've memorized this. It's every day for 3 years, nothing but 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometer run every day for 3 years.
Absolutely right. On the money.
He worked so hard that he just went bald. He lost his hair.
And his
Yeah.
irises.
Yeah. Oh
Damn,
man.
I was gonna answer that, but like I couldn't remember the specifics of the workout routine.
Mm.
I remember I tried it for like 2 days. I'm like, no, I'm not healthy,
Jesus.
bruh. Oh.
It
And
is
then I
an
just
insane workout.
Like, did
Yeah.
you manage to do it all for those 2 days? Like,
oh no, I had to like spread out throughout the day. Like, I can do 60 push-ups. I'll do 40 later. But Christ
still.
almighty. Yeah, I did I did 3-kilometer run instead. But then after 2 days, I was like, I'm too unhealthy. Fuck. Nah, not for me. Nah, gotta give up. Yeah.
Alrighty, let's move on. I'll also say, which I again should have said at the start, but if you want to buzz in, if you know even one of the bits, you can, and you don't need to answer the other ones. If you want to get like just 1 point or so, just get on the board. No issues at all. So we'll keep going. Question 3. In this world, shinobi utilize a limited pool of energy within themselves known as chakra to perform ninjutsu and genjutsu. However, the protagonist possesses much more chakra than the average person. Why is this?
Becky.
Oh, that was a Becky.
So the anime is Naruto. The main
Yeah.
character is Naruto Uzumaki. It's the character, and he has his abilities because sealed the spirit of the nine-tailed fox in him when he was a child in order to protect the village.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's
4
goofy.
points
as
for
hell.
Becky.
Mm.
It is goofy. This kid just has a big old fox inside of him.
Yeah, I'll put one of the deadliest things in our society just in our child. She'll be right.
She'll be right.
Just chuck it in there, you know? Oh dear. Alrighty, we'll move on then. In a world where the majority of the population are born with special abilities, how does this individual, who was born without one of these gifts, obtain his super strength?
Becky.
Nathan.
oh,
Ooh. I think that might have been Becky.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh, go for it.
It's My Hero Academia, Character is Midoriya
Izuku
something.
Midoriya. Yeah,
Don't
Izuku
give it away.
Midoriya.
Midoriya
You shouldn't
something,
have said it
yeah.
out loud. You could have got the point.
And
What?
he got
I was
his
being
power
polite.
from All Might,
Ulmaito.
who gave him his power as his successor.
May I?
Could I get? Can you give any more information, Becky? If not, I will pass it on to Nathan.
The power is one for all, which allows him to transfer his power to. That's all I got.
All right, Nathan, I'm going to give you a shot if you want to see if you can give
Yeah.
more specifics.
Now, this is the goofy part of it. So, how the transfer of the ability is
Oh
done
god, I
is,
remember.
I'm just going to pull out a piece of my hair, eat it. And that's how he got that's how he earned the powers, just by eating All Might and his hair. Yeah, his lush locks. Incredible. Inspiring.
I will give you the 2 points, Nathan. Becky, you also get 2 points.
Yeah.
Yes, he has to, for All Might to pass on his ability, he needs to feed the person his DNA. Is
yes.
technically how it works. So yeah, he's just got to eat a hunk of his hair, which is just insane. Like, why? Why
Yeah.
that of all things? You could have
Why
made it
not a
something
blood
cool.
transfer or something?
How would you rather do it? Like,
Yeah.
I
if
mean-
you had to give some of your DNA.
I'm not going to get into that. That's
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Never mind. Never mind.
oh dear. There was so much potential.
next question then.
Next
Next
question. All right, this is the last one of this section. In this anime, certain people can use symbols to alter the molecular structure of matter. However, the protagonist does not require one of these symbols to perform this act. Why is this?
Oscar.
Oscar?
Okay, so the anime is Full Metal Alchemist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
Character is... the surname is Elric,
Mm.
I think.
Gonna need the full name.
Um,
Can I steal?
Damn it.
If you can.
I can't give it to you, and I don't know how he got his powers either. So
All right, that's still 1 point to Oscar. No one else has buzzed in yet.
I haven't
Becky.
watched it.
Becky, go for it.
Okay, the full name is Edward Elric,
That's
Yeah,
right.
it.
and his
Yeah.
brother Alphonse Elric.
Yes.
How he got his powers? I can't really remember. Is it because is that way? He
You're
doesn't need to.
kind of on the right track, but not quite.
I
Nathan?
believe. I don't know. I haven't watched much of it. But when when the two brothers were trying to revive their mother, they messed up the ritual, and some of the power would have dispersed into Edward. Or am I off the ball?
That is close enough. I'll give it to you. It's because they. I won't go into specifics because I don't want to spoil the anime, but it is because they attempted human transmutation, which is a sin.
I didn't know
And
that was what
it
gave them
is.
that. Anyway.
There is a more technical answer, but I don't want to. In
Yeah.
case
Yeah,
anybody wants
spoil.
to watch it.
Yeah, I can't remember. I haven't
But
watched
essentially,
it
came
recently
about
enough.
because they tried human transmutation, which is a big
Yeah.
no-no in that world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, Full Metal Alchemist is just just need some oxygen or some nitrogen, some sulfur, bada bing, bada boom. There you go. Now I can make something.
Your mum.
Exactly. Oh god. Yeah.
All right.
It's wacky.
Well, that's the end of the first round. I'll read out the scores so far. Oscar is on 5, Becky is on 6, and Nathan in the lead has 8 points.
Oh.
So it's anybody's game still. All right. This next section, I've called High School Motivation. In this section, I'm still looking for the anime and the character, but this time for the full point, I would like you to tell me the character's motivation or goal.
All right.
Alrighty?
Okay.
And I've based all of these questions around anime which take place in high school.
Okay.
So the first question in this section. Despite his short stature, this first-year high school student has big dreams and a love for volleyball. What is this character's goal?
Haiku. Oh, sorry,
Oh,
Nathan.
you got a
My name's
buzz in?
Nathan. Frick.
Yeah, I'll accept it. Haikyuu is the anime.
Haiku is the anime.
Mhm.
Bloody hell, I only watched like 5 episodes. I can't remember his name. Yeah, and his dream is to become. What are they? Not the setter. One of the positions in volleyball, and to play eventually in the not world tour, but to be in the elite teams of Japan. I forgot what position he wants to play though.
I will, just for the sake of it, ask Becky and Oscar, would you like to try to steal that
Nope.
last point?
Nope. I knew it was Haikyuu, and I know Haikyuu's about volleyball, but that's all I know.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will give you the point, Nathan. I think you're close enough. His goal was to become the ace of the Karasuno High Volleyball League. That was the position that you were looking for, the ace.
Oh, ace.
Yeah.
I mean, how many positions are there in volleyball?
I think there's a few. There's like setter, ace, wing defense. I don't know. It's been a bit.
Yeah.
And the character's name was Shoyo Hinata.
Yeah.
The only reason I remember it is because there's a character in Naruto called Hinata.
Yeah, I immediately thought of it as well.
All right.
That's still 2 points. No, 3 points. My apologies. 3 points to Nathan. Next question. This character has found themselves in a strange situation, working in a club where the school's handsomest boys with too much time on their hands entertain young ladies who also have way too much time on their hands. But why is she working there?
Nathan.
Yep, go for it.
It's Autumn High School Host Club.
Yes.
People would remember it if they watched ABC3 back in the day. I don't remember her name, but I think the reason was she had to work was because she accidentally broke some of their a vase or a statue, and she was essentially working to pay it off, but not with money, but like as one of the
That's right.
hosts.
Yeah, absolutely right. So it was Oran High School host club. The character was trying to pay off their debt of 8 million yen for breaking a very expensive vase. And the character's name was Haruhi.
Haruhi.
How much is 8 million yen?
I'm looking up right now. It's $97,000.
Oh, is it really?
If I had a vase that expensive, I would not leave it anywhere where it could be broken. Like,
yeah. Put it behind a glass case. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll move on then. This high schooler pursues an unlikely romance, whilst a grisly murder and an unwavering classist divide underpin his journey.
Oscar.
Yep, go for it.
Okay, it's Beastars.
Yeah.
It is.
The character is Legoshi.
Yes.
And his motivation, I mean, the way I interpret it, it's probably something that I can't say on air, but I think the motivation that I think the excuse the anime gives is to protect those weaker than him.
Well, if I can, steal a bit, just because he falls in
and
love
solve
with...
the murder. And solve the murder.
Yeah, he didn't really care about that, but he's fallen in love with a rabbit, and he's a wolf, so it shouldn't work, but he sees her purity and her kindness and falls in love with that.
Yeah,
And
and
yeah,
as
is
a result, wants
correct.
to protect
Yes,
those
but
weak.
I will give full points to Oscar. I think that was
Yeah.
close enough. Yes, the answer was to overcome his animalistic instincts, to protect those around him, and amongst other things, get with a rabbit, which
Yeah.
it's whatever.
Shut up. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Great. So
Don't
that's
talk about
the end
it.
of that round.
Yeah. All right.
Scores now are Oscar on 8, Becky on 6, Nathan still in the lead with 12.
Hell yeah.
All right. This one, I'm going to go through it real quick. It's the lightning round.
Oh.
There are,
Okay.
I think, 7 questions, and this round is called Catchphrase. I'm going to need you guys to tell me the catchphrase of the character which I say.
Okay.
And we're going to try to make it be nice and speedy.
Okay.
So buzz in with your names and go for it. All right. First character, All Might.
Nathan.
Go for it.
I am here. I think that's it. Never fear, for I am here.
Does
No, that's
anybody
it.
want to try to steal?
Wait, what?
No, that's what
I
I would have
think-
said.
Yeah.
Never fear, for I am
I
here.
will give it to you because that is one of his catchphrases.
Yeah.
I guess he has more than one.
He
I did
does.
forget
Oh,
about
you're talking
that
about the
one.
punches.
Yeah.
Not the punches even.
What?
I'm thinking of Go Beyond plus Ultra.
That's the
Which-
general like
I would say
saying.
he
That's-
never says that.
That's the
That's-
high school motto.
Yeah, that's the high school motto.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure that was
Get
his
beyond
kind of
plus
situation.
ultra. No,
Plus
Oh.
ultra.
it's the motto of the high school.
Well, that's a bad on my end then. I'm very sorry.
Nah, all good.
But no, yes, I will give you the point, Nathan.
Yeah, boy.
Let's move on. You need to make it quick. All right. Jotaro Kujo.
Nathan.
Yep,
Yare Yare doze. Which is
absolutely.
Dero deer in Japanese. Yeah.
Kamina.
Oh, Nathan.
Yes,
Just who in the hell do you think I am?
that's right.
Yeah. Gurren Lagann. That's an excellent anime, that one.
Yep,
Oh,
Gurren Lagann.
So
Big robots.
Yeah.
Saitama.
Nathan.
Yep.
Well, he doesn't really have any catchphrases except the one which he's training, which is 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, 100 squats, and a 10K run. Other than
Not
that,
quite. He
Really?
does have a catchphrase.
huh? Okay.
It's
Isn't it?
something he says multiple
I'm
times.
bored?
Oscar? No. It is something very kind of
Oh, again, one punch.
not quite. He never says one punch necessarily.
Yeah, all it took was one punch.
Oh yeah, well, it's more something he says than a catchphrase.
Okay,
But what I was going for was I'm just a guy who's a hero for fun.
fun. Yeah,
Mm.
there you go. Yeah.
This next one is a bit of a meme, but light Yagami.
Nathan,
Yep.
is it? Oh, not. That's not potato chip. I am God, and I will cleanse the earth and become the new ruler of my paradise, something like that. I don't know, something
think-
pretentious.
I kind of put this one in as a meme, and you did say it. It was the I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
Well, that's not a
I think-
catchphrase, actually.
It's what when people think of light Yagami,
Yeah,
I
they
think
think of the
that's
potato
the
chip
phrase
scene.
that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Which, if you're gonna watch anything to do with Death Note, at least watch that scene. It's
Yeah.
Pretty
Out
amazing.
of context, it doesn't make sense. With context, it makes a little bit more, but not too much sense.
all right. Next character, Naruto.
Nathan.
Becky.
Oh, so close, Nathan.
Nathan, just so quick.
Sorry.
Please.
Believe it.
Damn it.
That's right.
Believe it.
Datibayo. That's
And-
what it is in Japanese. I remember. 'Cause
Last one. I don't think there's really any contest at this point, but we'll go for it. Kenshiro. From
Kenshiro.
Fist of the North Star.
Oh. Omae wo mo shinderu.
Nani?
Which is, you are already dead.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Okay, at the end of the day, Becky came in at 6 points, Oscar came in at 8 points, and Nathan, absolutely destroying the competition, came in with a whopping 18 points. So congratulations, Nathan.
Hell
You've proven
Yeah,
yourself.
congratulations, Nathan. And this will be the last time ever we have a special guest on. So.
Yeah, we learned our lesson here.
We've learned our lesson about special guests.
They seem to know
We've
more
been in-
about us in the field that we're presenting.
All right. Well, we certainly spent enough time on the quiz. Let's move on
I
to
think
our
it's time to go
recommendations. I think you're right.
Didn't we already do that, though?
No, so this is our general
yeah,
pop
we-
culture club recommendations.
We did give little
yeah.
little extra recommendations, but now this is the recommendation segment, which we have every episode. So let's get into it. We're just going to give. This doesn't need to be necessarily anime recommendations, but it can be if you want. So let's jump right into it. Would somebody like to start us off?
Well, let's maybe start with our guest.
Oh, okay. Well,
Go for it, Nathan.
okay. I'm gonna just list off some anime, because I'm the anime guest, that I think most people could and would enjoy quite a bit. So I've just dissected all genres and just compressed it down so people can try whatever. So if you're into action, One Punch Man is excellent, very comedic, but the action is quality stuff. If you want something a little bit funny, and it's on Netflix, is Psyche K. So essentially, a guy has psychic powers, but he doesn't want to give too much attention to himself. So he tries to do what he can to divert attention. Drama, Attack on Titan. I mean, it's been in the in the modern media range for a while now. It's worth the watch. Science fiction, Cowboy Bebop. It's an older anime, but it's one of the greats. And
Absolutely.
yeah, that's about it, I'd say, for my
Those are some
recommendations.
solid recommendations.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
If anybody is looking into anime, I would second those recommendations from Nathan. Yeah, they're good places to start off. I'll go next for us. Again, as is tradition, I've not thought about this prior really, so I'm just gonna pick. I'm gonna pick something off of my little list here, and I'm gonna say a good couple of movies to watch because I'm a little bit of a horror nerd. Creep and Creep 2. They are super weird. Kind of. I would say they're more like thrillers than horror. It's about a weird dude who, at least in the first one, puts out an ad on Craigslist and lures people to his place under the false pretense that he is making a documentary for his unborn son. And it's really bizarre and very uncomfortable. And it's one of those movies that's just a slow burn up until the end. So you're waiting the entire movie for things to happen, and you know things are going down, but it's like, when's it going to happen? And it slowly builds up the insanity and it's really good. And I would highly recommend if you want to watch Creep to watch both of the films because the second one is arguably better than the first. And it's just a good time, and it's not too insanely scary, but it is very, it's very bizarre. If you're not super into horror, I would still recommend it.
Oh, I remember that.
It's fun
it's
for the
very
whole
good.
family.
Disclaimer: most horror movies are not suitable for the whole family.
Maybe not the whole family.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Leave your 10-year-old son out of it, maybe.
Well, yeah, he'll be right. Just have a few nightmares for a couple of years. And some therapy. Never hurt anyone.
Teach him a valuable lesson about internet strangers.
Mm-hmm.
I got scared enough watching Cat in the Hat. Thank you very much.
Cat in the Hat was a different level of horror that we won't get into right now. But...
No. My God. All right.
Becky, would you like to give us your recommendation?
Similarly to Ben, last minute, I'm going to recommend the YouTube animated series Hell of a Boss. Not for children, beep, 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 not for children. But it is great. It's this great kind of comedy, very violent, very funny.
Isn't it about
violence?
Available for
demons?
free. It is. Okay, so yeah. It stars demons in hell who start a company where people in hell can pay them to go and kill someone in the living world. And it's about the dynamic between the people in the company.
I've heard that it's like very independent, isn't it? Because it's done by YouTube, like creators essentially, like small creators.
It's done by a bunch of independent creators, kind of a community project in a way.
And the animation is on point to like some shows you would see nowadays, like Rick and Morty or I don't know, anything. Actually, even better than that.
Yeah, the animation is quite good, especially in the later episodes.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
That's a good recommendation.
Cool.
Oscar, would you like to end us off?
Sure. So I'm going to recommend a book, or books, actually. They are not new books. I want to recommend What If and How To. Oh, pardon me. Both by Randall Munro. They are What If is subtitled Serious Scientific Answers to Absurd Hypothetical Questions. And within its pages, you'll find Munro answering questions using, like, very silly questions using the most serious science, such as...
I remember this book. I read it.
Let me see. What would happen if a hairdryer with continuous power were turned on and put in an airtight 1 by 1 by 1 meter box? Or one of my favorite ones is what would happen if you tried to hit a baseball pitched at 90% the speed of light? And How To features a similar vein of question, or like similar style, except it's more how to, basically the most inefficient, impractical ways you could possibly go about things. Like how to move, which may involve moving your entire house by strapping some jet engines to it.
Are those by the creative XKCD?
They are. So Munro also, I will also, as an extension of that, highlight Munro's webcomic, which is XKCD, spelt like that, and it's not an acronym for anything. It's called that because that's the shortest word with no phonetically correct English pronunciation. So, or one of the, like, it's a rare form. It's a rare thing, a 4-letter word with no way to pronounce it, basically. So that's why Munro called it that. But the webcomic is great. Very nerd culture stuff. Very... Yeah, it's a lot of fun to read, and like it's also like something. It's a great thing to just like read while like you're on a train or something. It's not like it's not a ongoing story webcomic, so it's very easy to get into as well.
One of my favorite I remember from the What If was what if you teleported every human being on Earth to America, I think, where everyone
yes. What would happen if like everyone on Earth stood in one spot and jumped, like, would we be able
Yeah.
to like, change the
Move
Earth's
Earth,
orbit?
or things like I remember that was wacky.
Yeah,
That
and the
sounds
answer would
wild.
be if you tried to put everyone on Earth in one place, we would all die. So
Yeah, because of
True.
traffic control. Yeah,
yeah,
Man.
pretty much because of traffic control.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's my recommendations.
Amazing. So I guess that leads us to the end of the podcast for this week.
No, don't put me back in the hole.
Now we get to
I'm
get rid
sorry.
of Nathan.
Ben keeps us all in a basement when we're not recording.
Guys, I told you that was a secret. You're not
Help
supposed
us.
to talk about the hole.
Oh, please God.
Help me.
You guys get half rations this time.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Thank you all for joining us. Today I was joined by Oscar.
Bye.
Oh, I was gonna.
I was thinking you were going to like list our names off, but then Oscar.
Well, no, like, yes, I wasn't sure.
I was waiting.
Goodbye.
Yeah. You know what? I might keep that in. We'll see.
Sure.
I've been joined by Oscar, Nathan, and Becky, and I've been Ben. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
See you around.
Bye, everybody.